How you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Good.
Very out.
Last time, that's when you was at the last March.
Yeah, that's what I do. That's one of the things that I've done it March for 30 years. I think it's been. It's been an honor. It really has been. It started with people marching around the campus, and I think the first one probably had 50 people, and we just marched around Rose and Limestone and Washington Avenue and back around and had a small program there. First was in the Student Center, then down in the Singletary Center. And then some city council people came years later and said, the city doesn't feel part of this. You need to do a better job. So with that in mind, we made an arrangement to move it downtown. Of course, that came at quite a cost too. So they were involved in getting all that done, and we moved it into Heritage Hall downtown. And the first year we moved it in there, the size of the crowd doubled. The second year it doubled again, and it kept on getting bigger and bigger. The next thing you know, I'm looking and I'm seeing literally thousands of people marching down. And they said, so people asked, how did you know where to march? Well, there's nothing really difficult about figuring it out. I went down there in my car and drove it. And I drove from Heritage Hall down to Limestone, across and back. You know, that's not far enough. Drove all the way down then to Rose Street and back, and that's about a mile and a half. And I knew at that point, if you walked this, it'd take you about 30 minutes. And I thought that that's just right there. And so then a guy named Chester Grundy, he planned the program, him and was it Chester and who else? Anyway, planned the program inside the facility after the march got back, and that's how we got to where we are today. Then the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, we used to support their unity breakfast, and they just had a few people come to that. It kept growing and growing, and now they're all the way down in the West Hall. And you look at that event all together, and you just say that's been a good experience. It's one I'll remember. You know, I'll walk away from here one of these days, and that's one I'll take with me. When I walk away from here, when I retire, I'm not going to do that any longer because it's a lot of work.
I'm sure it is.
It's a lot of work. So tell me about yourself, man. Let me tell you what I know. And I asked Cleo to come and join us. And I thought what we would do is sit here and talk. I've seen so much, heard so much, you know, about your matter here. I know that it's involved lots of people all the time. I know that there's been various issues. I remember one day I was in the office, leaving the office, and I think you came with Adrian Wallace. I just saw him Saturday and talked to him. He was at a booth, and I told him I supported Councilor Lawrence.
Well, that's fortunate for him because he and I really don't see eye to eye.
Is that right?
Yeah, there's a few people that have gotten involved that perhaps should have, and I would have much rather where we are right now, if that was where we were before, instead of involving so many people. I'm originally from Washington, D.C. Things are done different. I've lived all over the country. I was accepted here. There's a story behind that. Some you may know, some you may not. And it's a big deal to my family, to my kids, even the community that I'm getting to know, the place that, you know, I now call home, because, I mean, this is 3 years old. There's a lot that has made this moment, and it's unfortunate that it hasn't been taken seriously. And I understand there's what 300,000 maybe students. Oh no, maybe 30,000 students,
30.
maybe somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And I understand. I understand that. I also understand that you know the climate is changing, and there's there's been issues that historical issues in regards to the college and the people and the evolution of it based off that goes with it also, that hasn't changed too much. It's unfortunate that even when you speak of diversity, and I'm not saying you personally, it's for as long as I've been here, and one of the things that interests me was different groups that I've sat down and spoke with, and they talked about diversity in the campus being a obvious major concern here, and I've watched people use that for political reasons. I've heard people get involved for political reasons. I've witnessed people get involved for personal reasons that I shouldn't have. So, I'm sure you probably saw the email that I dropped off.
What I saw, you didn't write a letter to the president.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There was also an email that I dropped off at his office.
No, I'm not sure how.
Okay. Yeah. Some of this wasn't known at the time when I showed up here and went to the graduate school. That email came out after from Miss Durbin, and she had reached out to Sanford Brown, where I was attending, and in this email she stated that I would most likely be coming here and working here, going for my master's. I was shocked to have heard from one of my professors at Sanford Brown, that I would be coming here. And I'm like, what? I keep a video log of when I was living in Tennessee and just where I travel, not just for my kids, my entire family and people that I've worked with that have helped me grow within my career. So I keep a video diary. And I was actually had cameras rolling when this professor had stated, well, I hear you're going to UK, and I'm like, what are you talking about? So I did some digging and came across this email that Ms. Durbin sent Sanford Brown. She asked them to give me a test out option. She basically said, also stated in the email that, this is merely a piece of paper to him based off of his experience in the field. And she went on, and what it all boiled down to is I applied just like anyone else. There were 3 acceptance letters, 2 for master's, 1 for postbac. And then there was another letter the same day that was switched to postbac. A few hours later, there was another one that said that I wasn't accepted at all. So if I hadn't received the first one, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah. Where were you at the time?
I was living in Morristown, Tennessee.
Where's that?
Morristown, Tennessee is about 2.5 hours away.
Is it close to Knoxville?
It's about 45 minutes east
East of Knoxville.
of Knoxville. And
All right.
she, in my eyes, recruited me. She reached out to the school. They gave me a test out. My last 7 classes, I had to get straight A's to test out what I was told by faculty that I was dealing with at Sanford Brown is no one's ever done that. Yet I got straight A's because the window of where I wanted to land, I had to meet that window. Of course, it's just not making sense. So Adrian got involved. he wouldn't have shown up, and this is the best the best way I could put it. He wouldn't have shown up if the press wasn't outside. Okay? This,
Yeah.
I don't, it's like, look, if we're going to talk about education and if we're going to talk about, you know, building a better community and not giving handouts to students of color, but making sure they have an equal hand up, then we can't be playing games like that. And I've expressed that in my email, and when I came up to President Capilou's office. This has nothing to do with grandstanding or, I got an acceptance letter, I applied like everyone else, you know, I'm still here. So that's just where it is, and I know everybody's got a job to do, yet this is a situation, but I'm not the only one involved in this situation. If it wouldn't have happened to me, it probably would have happened to someone else. And it probably, for all we know, probably has in some way, shape, or form. And things don't evolve unless we keep pushing on the front line.
Well, what I've read regards the accreditation problem of the school you've attended.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what initially occurred, but it appears that whatever did occur, then, you know, it's been considerable time spent trying to undo. Well, you just told me you accepted this, trying to undo whatever errors were made there. I'm not saying you made any errors at all, but whatever errors there appear to have been made, I guess. Again, that's why I asked Cleo to come. I don't know where he is, but you know, my question is, at this point, you know, I think what you've heard these folks pretty well said on what they have said. So at this point, what's in your best interest? I understand that they did advisement, I believe, for you to be able to do undergraduate work and to get to the point of where you're qualified to be considered for graduate school. What happened? What's going on? If you know, the thing you have raised, and I'm talking straightforward, that's what we come to do, you know, and I've never sat down with you, but I feel like I can do that. The thing you have raised, in my opinion, has been examined to the point of where they're not going to examine it anymore. So where do you go from here? What is it that can be done to assist you? You're here, you are here, so how can this place or whoever help you move forward from here?
The last call that I had received a call. It was, I guess, during the game. Where was it, in Honolulu? From Mr. Is it Mr. Swinford or Dr. Swinford?
It's Dr.
Dr. Swinford. He was away out of town.
Yeah.
It was along the weekend of when they had, I guess, a game in Hawaii or somewhere, just about a month or so ago. Anyway, undergrad had reached out to me. They had been contacted by the Ombudsman's office.
Dr. McGillis. Yeah.
Right. I was directed to deal with them as far as undergrad and setting things up. And when they called me, they too said, we don't know what it is that they want us to do. Right about now, it's about if one issue I see is coming from my master's and being told that I got to start over. That's one thing. So if I have to start over, the first set of folks that I should be dealing with to get into undergrad, it would be, I guess, a very good thing to sit down with those people and they know what it is that they need to do instead of scratching their head telling me that they don't. Because at that point, if I'm being directed to do that and I get there and these people scratch their heads, they don't know, I mean, in my mind, their job then and all they're telling me is they don't know what to do, then this isn't going anywhere.
Now, the undergrad, are they saying you need to take all undergraduate courses again, or some undergraduate course? Did you go anywhere other than a college again?
Somebody is saying that, but I don't know who that person is.
Okay, okay.
You see what I'm
So
saying?
they should be able to sit down with you, take a look at your transcript,
Mm-hmm.
and tell you what's transferable and what isn't.
Right.
No one's done that? No one's-
Ombudsman told undergrads to do it. Undergrads stated to me they've looked at it, but there's nothing that they believe that they can accept, that they don't know what to
Well,
do.
then they're saying there's nothing from the school you attended that they can accept.
Yeah, the
or
funny
a
thing
degree.
is when I sat down with Dr. Jeanette Groff over in the College of Ed, she was able to look through my transcript and say, you know what, these right here may be transferable to this should you want to go and, you know, get your bachelor's in education. I'm working for Fayette County right now as a certified substitute teacher. I've gotten to a point where I don't know how to carry myself and teach these kids if the things I'm teaching them isn't applying to me in my current life.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Well, that's an interesting point you raise. Again, someone they say, okay, what you have does not transfer. You should be able to sit down. You haven't had a meeting where you sit down and go through your transcript and tell you what will or what won't. Are
other
they
than with
saying to
Dr.
you-
Groff.
And she doesn't have authority to accept it over here or not.
Right.
So they're saying to you that in undergraduate admission that nothing on your transcript will transfer? Is that what they're saying?
That's what undergrad said.
Yeah, man,
I mean, the question is
yeah.
how is it that they don't see it and she found it?
She doesn't have.
And I understand the authority.
Yeah,
I understand
That's
that.
not her call. You know, and I don't disrespect her opinion
Mhm.
now, because she has terminal education in the area there, so she would have a very good judgment of it, but she doesn't have authority over there.
Mhm.
And so, again, that would be like me looking at it and saying, I think this, and you know, obviously there's viable courses, you've done very well, and I can tell because you sit here the way you talk to me. That's the next thing I want to know. How you doing? Who is this guy who will sit down and talk to you? And let me hear you, and let me hear you talk to me. And I can tell that you have had extensive education just from a few minutes because I've been around here long.
Mhm.
But if they're telling you that education in the school you have is not going to transfer, then basically that's it.
Mhm.
That's it. That concludes the matter. And because that's what they then have the responsibility of doing. So my question to you and my thinking here is, what then is in your best interest? Where do you go from here? But at some point, think about, you got kids?
I have a grandchild already.
Grandchildren, you got a grandchild. So yeah, think about, I see myself sitting in your seat right there. What would I do? Well, I want to know, what is it that I need to do in this world? What is it I need to do in life to be able to take care of the things that I need to take care of in my life?
I'm doing those things.
That's
Regardless.
it. That's it. What is it that I need to take care of? And then, on top of that, I would be thinking, well, let's see here now. If this isn't going to go the way that I think it should go, and I'm not here to pass judgment on it, because again, I don't qualify to do that. But if that's the case, then what is it that I can do to excel in this world more so, rather than spend my time on something that, in my opinion, seems to be already determined? What can I do? How can I spend my time? If you've had undergraduate, graduate school, all these people, the academic ombud, and this is the response you're getting from all these folks, then at some point, my thinking is, you need to take a look and see what else is out there available for you. What is it? Now, did you work for RFL for what? Were you volunteering?
I was volunteering.
What happened over there?
They, there was a spat over there. I guess there was a grant that came out from either your office or one of the offices. I mean, your office is the only office that deals with diversity on campus, right?
No, I deal with equity.
Equity.
There is a diversity
The
office.
diversity
down
office.
there.
There was a grant that was being handed out, and they were approached about an idea to have something here for kids, you know, or students on campus, and instead of we sat down, and instead of going with the idea, they added a component onto something that they do every year to get that grant. And it was very disappointing. And in a meeting, I had expressed to them that I was very disappointed. And they found a way to raise a stench in regards to my show. I had gotten suspended for apparently some stretched out imaginative thing that they put together. In fact, was it Dr. Price? Feast Price?
That's the institutional diversity.
We sat down with her in that matter, and even she found that the way they went about it was unfair and quite bullcrap. So by that time, the show had already been suspended for 2 weeks, and their whole deal was, well, we'll take you off suspension, let the show come back, but yet the content, the opinion content and hot topic content that we would do on the show, they didn't want that anymore. They just wanted us to come in and play music. And when we started Queued Up Radio, it was like in the last spot as far as all those shows. And when we made the decision to leave, we were in the number 2 or 3 spot. We would go out in the community and people would tell us how much they appreciated the show. And for that to have happened, I felt like it's just like what some people believe that our government is doing now and taking away our freedom of speech. So I wasn't gonna do that. So I went to LCR, and you know, granted it's not RFL, yet I'm still doing what I love.
Have you applied for jobs here?
I was supposed to apply the day that I was told that there was nothing they could do with my transcript. RFL only gives jobs to students.
I'm talking about full-time, regular full-time jobs. You applied for any?
No thought.
Would you have an interest in it?
Depends on what it was.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I've got 20-something years working in digital media and production.
Okay.
So hence,
Okay.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even now, you know, I'm, aside from having to go back and forth with this, one of the people involved in this, I'm battling personally in a separate matter, and it's my whole career and everything that I was set out to do has been just frozen. Like I said, I have projects and stuff that have been frozen by coming here.
You know, you've got the education, you've got the skills, and you have the motivation to move forward in a career that seems to be, if you don't know where to look, then you would think that your career goal is narrowly focused. But if you understand the work you do, I'm sure that work is abundant, you know. But it seems to me like you have to go to it rather than it come to you.
Mm-hmm.
So have you looked at opportunities in various areas, various cities, you know, how have you used what you've learned to this point? That's what I'm asking.
Well, when I came here, there's a 5 computer network system that I've developed. And like I said, when I came here, how I came here, one of the folks that pretty much lured me here is in possession of all of that. So what I do is I work 2 jobs, and when I'm not working, I'm sitting down and battling to get my business back that this person took. So that right there, we're not talking about a situation where it's just some little trinket or Casio keyboard. We're talking about an issue that involves, something very significant along with, a history. I mean, basically we're talking about intellectual property for over 20 years. So this, until I get that back, I have clients out of state and clients here that want to work with me. Yet until this person gets dealt with, it's a standstill. There's folks involved that I've been involved with for years. I mean, I don't like name dropping, okay? That I can tell you that there's very successful folks, notable folks that I've done work for, that I'm doing work for now, and that I can do work for in the future. All of that is dependent on what happens with that or what happens with here. And I'm at a standstill. There is no, for me to come here, honestly, right now, I think that it would benefit UK more than it would benefit me. I mean, without giving you all of these details and all of that, that's just where I sit. It's not, honestly, the best thing that could have happened was someone was just able to sit down and just look at it. Because, I mean, this is just a go around, and it's unfortunate.
Myron, don't let life pass you by.
It's not. Trust me. I mean, that right there sounds judgmental. That right there sounds judgmental to me.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I don't mean for it to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean for it to sound like one man talking to another.
Mm-hmm.
That your life situation is different than anybody else's, so I can't comment on it really, and I would never do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's not fair, and that's not what I do, because I've, looking my background, where I came from, and so forth and so on, you see some pretty amazing things, and some big obstacles to overcome, some big obstacles, and, I worked with so many people over the years, so much, and I'm sure I'm considerably older than you are, and, so I'm talking from my life experiences, is what I'm doing, and saying to you that, face the world every day with the thinking that what is the opportunity that's there for me, and I make the most of this day. And what I'm saying, and I'm not judgmental, but I will say this, don't delay something good awaiting you in your life based on something otherwise. But those are decisions you have to make on your own. And that's the other thing too. I'm sure there are a lot of people that are willing to tell you what you ought to do.
Actually, there's only maybe a couple people that I have in my life that, really, have been a part of the walk for the most part, that I do listen to, and which is ultimately the reason why I'm still sitting here in this chair.
Yeah.
And it's a very unfortunate situation.
But what I was going to say is there are a lot of people quick to tell you, and you ought to do this, you ought to do that. The right thing is to provide you with information that you can make your own decision. Because you're a man, you've lived in various places, you're not dependent on anybody to support you. You do this on your own, so you know how to make decisions. I live in a big city. I know what that's like, you know. And I lived in a small town. I lived in a big city. You know, Lexington is not even somewhere in between because it's not very big city. But you know, just based on those life experiences, you learn how to get along. You learn what to do, man. You learn how to make it in this world. And based on all the things you know, advice I've given, and again, I'm not being judgmental of you, man. I have no right to do that. The things I have learned is that you persevere and keep trying, and you pursue what it is that you really want to do in this world. That's what I have come to learn over the years. And it hasn't been easy though. It's still not. Every day you get up and it's almost as if, you know, okay, how am I going to have to prove myself today based on something somewhere? You know, how am I going to have to do that? Not that I haven't done it enough, but how am I going to have to do that? But you know, I think if you persevere, you carry on. That's what you do. You carry yourself with the integrity that you have, you know, and I mean, you've got all this. You've got it. And it's, you carry yourself just with the principles and integrity that you have, and things will occur. They will. And if something doesn't work, then try something else, you know? And again, I'm not sitting here preaching, but I'm just kind of telling you, you know, as if I've known you for a long time, just what I think, you know? And, you know, the issue here, if you've heard from all these different people in all these different offices, given all your effort, you know, at some point, my thinking is you need to sit back and decide, is that worthy of any more of my time? That's what I can put on the table and I'll leave it with you. That's your choice. That's not for me to say.
Okay.
You know?
I appreciate it.
Just, you know, what I appreciate is time to sit down at the table and talk. You know, spend some time together. And that's what I appreciate myself. And I don't get a chance to do enough of that, especially with all these young people here. I don't get a chance to do enough, but there are some that I will never forget. A guy by the name of, his name was DJ. I think what was his last name? Anyway, he was an undergrad. He went on to law school. And he came into my office one day and he sat down with his head down like that. I asked him, I said, what's the matter? I said, you're not doing well, what's wrong? And he said, Brother Allen, I said, what's wrong? Tell me what's wrong. American young man, you know. And he said, I'm going to go home for Christmas and just live over there in Louisville. And I said, okay. Yeah, he said, and I'm hungry. And I looked at him. I said, what? I said, I'm hungry. At that point, the guy's going to law school, and everything is upwardly mobile. But at that point, he didn't have enough money to go up to McDonald's and buy something to eat. So I took him, fed him, put some gas in his car, and told him to be on your way. And, you know, he did that. It was about 2 years later. He came back. There he is again. All smiles this time. He came in, Brother Allen, I'm finished. I'm going to Washington, D.C. to work for a law firm. He said, I want to pay you back what it is you did for me that day. And I told him, the way you pay me back is pass that on to somebody else. And I guess I'll tell you this story because that's what I feel like I'm doing here today. I pass on what I know and my life experiences to you. And again, not as telling you what to do or judging you in any kind of way. I have no right to do that. But just from what I've learned from being in this world for so many years, that you think about what's in your best interest. Think about what's in the best interest of those who depend on you and that care for you, those that care the most for you. And that will give you guidance. Okay? Just always remember that and pass that on. Pass it on. And that's how it works. And I haven't heard from him since. I haven't. But my guess is that he's probably doing okay. At least I hope so. So, if there was something I could do for you here academically, I'd do it. I don't know what it is. I just don't know. But what I do know is that I wanted to sit down and speak with you. Who is Myron Go? Who is he? And I wanted to sit down and spend some time with you. So I would ask that you think about what we talked about. Cleo didn't come today. I don't know where he is.
I would like to know where he is myself. In fact, I've had conversations with Dr. Price.
I asked him to come, and I expected him. And so why isn't here, I don't know. I really don't know. But, if he's someone you want to speak with, give him a call. And so otherwise, I won't keep you involved.
All right.
Hang in there, man.
Oh, don't have too much to it.